Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone around the country is doing well. Welcome to another session of Ask the Millionaire. I hope all of you are doing well this morning and have had a great week, and that you're having a great fourth quarter and that your businesses are doing very, very well. So today we have a bunch of great questions. The first question is asked by Kimberly Vincent. Kimberly asked, how can I reach more prospects in a quicker time frame? And the background information she's given us is Serene's Workforce offers virtual care information webinars and on-site massage therapy for large companies in Canada. We solve problems related to employee stress and pain management for increased productivity and corporate bottom lines. I am the company at this point and want your opinion on how I can ramp up sales faster. What would you do in order to reach out more prospects faster? So, Kimberly, here's a few things that I would do if I were you. One is I would make sure that everybody on your LinkedIn contacts, Facebook contacts, all your social media know exactly what you're doing and what you're looking for. I would join trade associations that are connected with the size of company and the industries that you think you could add the greatest value for, and join those and look into their membership directories and find the heads of HR and the CEOs of the companies. You might also consider joining SHRM, Society of Human Resource Professionals, and becoming a member there and contacting their members as well. Because that would be the fastest way that you could go and do it, because probably running ads won't do it. They're probably not looking on Google to find someone like what you're doing. They're probably looking for referrals. And the other thing is, I would let your primary care physician know that you offer this, and any other doctors that deal with pain management in your area. I would get a list of them, and I would send them each a gift basket with your information on something small that won't cost you a lot of money, but enough that it will get their attention and they'll want to send you a thank you note. I found that to be very good. When I've gone after companies, I've sent CEOs thought-provoking books. I've sent them articles that I've read that I thought would be of interest to them, and in some cases I've actually sent candy. And the one thing that worked really well for me, and of course it depends on the demographic, were children's bibs for people who just had children or grandchildren. So I would recommend those things. So best of luck. Our next question comes from Rosalie Alloque. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. What factors should I consider when creating an exit strategy for my business? I would like to structure my business to operate without me so I have the option to sell it. So I don't know enough about your business, but here's what I would say to you about it. And I do see the next question is also from you, and you have an accounting firm. So the only way that you can go and sell your business is if you develop a large book of business, and you could either sell that book of business to another accountant or bookkeeping firm if it's just you, or you can build up your firm by bringing on other accountants and teaching them in your process and methodology if you have one. But start adding accountants into your practice and having them join as partners, and then they could buy you out as a partnership. Or a friend of mine started an accounting firm. He owned it totally. He grew it to 50 people. And after he had grown it to 50 people, a larger firm acquired him, and he specialized in a couple of different areas, which was good. But he brought people on who could not only do the accounting work, but also were good at recruiting additional clients. Because I've seen where people build a nice business, but they're the whole ball game when it comes to recruiting new clients. And that actually makes it more difficult to sell the business, because although you've got great people working for you, you don't have a deep bench in terms of bringing in more business. And if you were to get sick and something happened to you, your folks either just were working with the existing clients but they wouldn't be bringing in any new clients, and maybe some of the existing clients leave because they've been acquired or they shut down their business for a variety of different reasons. So in order for you to build this business up big enough, you've got to bring in enough clients that you're overloaded and need to bring in another accountant. You need to look at the profile of the type of accountant you want to bring on. So some people you're bringing on are just good at accounting but not good at business development, but you want to bring on some folks who are good at business development and allow them to buy into the business so they don't start a competing accounting practice or go somewhere else. So you have another question here. What's the best way to introduce policy changes and retainer increase to existing clients? In my accounting firm, I've been very flexible and have helped clients apply for loans and grants at no additional cost to them. Going above and beyond for my clients, would like to get compensated accordingly. I want to implement these changes without too much backlash. Well, first of all, when you mention a couple of these things like loans and grants, if you try to get compensated for helping loans, you have to check with the state that you're in to find out if you need a license to go and do that. Because if you do need a license to go and do that, then you're becoming a loan broker. So you have to decide if that's the case, and same with grants. But you could go and change the structure and say, if I just do basic accounting, here's our hourly rate. If I have to do work where I'm meeting with banks and other financial agencies to provide capital to your business, instead of charging you $150 an hour, I charge $200 or $250 an hour. But that way you're going around not getting a percentage of the actual loan, but you're charging them a premium for this. And you can tell them the reason you're charging this premium is, one, you have great experience and success at helping your companies get loans. Two is you yourself have great contacts with community banks, national banks, the economic development agencies, venture capital, angel investors, whatever it is that they're looking for. And in order for you to do this, that requires extra time and preparation for it, and you need to charge them for that. And if they don't want to pay it, then you can say, I'm sure there are loan brokers and other folks that would be glad to do this for you, and I can make a referral for you. So that's what I would do if I were you for any of the businesses. And I really think, helping them get capital is probably the only thing that's out of line, getting loans. But if they're acquiring another business, well, you can also maybe charge a premium for that if you have to sit in on the meetings. But if you're going to just do the review of the other company's accounting work, then you're probably charging your hourly rate. You can also look into what accounting firms are charging in your area for different types of services like that. And I'm sure you can call a larger accounting firm that you're not in competition with, or an accounting firm that's not in your region, and ask them. Or you probably have classmates from accounting school that you can ask what they do and find out what works for them and how you could adopt it into your practice. The next question is from Andy Ramos. Andy asks, how do I best approach talking to a manager in my company about their need to practice healthier communication whenever they communicate with their employees? I'm corporate support for a company called Natural Life. We offer a wide variety of wellness items and consider ourselves a wellness center. In fact, our core value number 6 for us is wellness. We promise to use quality products and friendly service to promote a better quality of life for all. This sentence says for all, and I firmly believe that this is a friendly service should always be exercised from our employees to our customers, but also between managers and their employees as well. It's beneficial for us to offer a healthy work environment, as an unhealthy one always creates a slew of problems. We believe a big key to that is healthy communication. I want to talk with one of my managers because I want to keep them on board, but I've heard more than once that this person can really come off wrong when communicating with their employees. This kind of stuff slowly but surely creates a tense work environment which indirectly will affect sales, as we have seen before. I want to make sure I don't come off wrong first and start a bad chain reaction since we really want to keep this employee. How should I best approach them? Should I fire them? Help them? So first of all, you just told me that they're a good employee and they add value, but their management and communication skills need some improvement and upgrading. So a great book for this that you might want to read is called The 5-Minute Manager. And in The 5-Minute Manager, which takes about half an hour to read, they talk about, and I've used this very successfully, and that is starting with having a meeting with this employee and starting with all the good things that they've done, all the amazing work they've accomplished, how great their skill sets are. And when you start with that, people feel good about themselves. The barrier goes down. They're more apt to listen. They're willing to hear what you have to say, and they don't become defensive. And then you come in and say, but there are a couple things I would like you to work on that I think you'll agree. If you think about it, this would be best for you and best for the people that work for you. And so here's what I noticed, and tell me what you think, and tell me what you think the solution is. And then you walk them through what you've heard and what you've observed yourself, and ask them, what do you think we should do? How do you think we should improve? What kind of support should I give you? Is there a type of coach I should bring in to work with you, because you have so many amazing talents, but we want to smooth out some of the rough edges and make you an even better leader. I see you as having a super bright future, and I want to make sure that you live up to your full potential. Well, after you tell them all of that, it's very hard for them to get defensive, and now they see you're looking in their best interest. Now, if this person brushes you off and says, look, I'm fine. You know, these people are weak. The reason they're complaining about this is because they're just not tough enough. Maybe we should get rid of that. But if you see that these people are good workers yourself, and you can see that he's the problem and you've verified it, you have that conversation with him and say, look, let's talk again in a few days. I want you to think about this conversation. And after that, when you meet with him the next, if he feels the same way, no matter how good he is at sales, it's time for he or she to go. And you're going to have to make a change, as hard as that might be. But you're giving them every opportunity to turn things around, to get better, and it's in their best interest to get better. Anytime in my life when somebody has come to me and said to me, listen, I think there's a few things we need to talk about that I think you could be better at, I'm all ears, because they're taking the time to want to improve me. How can I be upset about that? And so I've done that in the past, and when people are not amenable to this and not taking this with open arms, then I've got to question, are their priorities straight? Do they really care about their fellow employees? Do they care about the company, or is it all about them at the end of the day? And if it's all about them, they're not good to have in our organization. Okay, the next question is from Monica Wilson. Monica asks, what should I focus on first when starting a transportation business? At this present time, I'm looking for direction to effectively begin my entrepreneurship journey. I'm starting a non-emergency transportation business in North Carolina. This transportation service will be offered to patients and healthcare consumers who face extraordinary barriers getting to and from medical appointments. So, obviously you must have a car. You probably let your insurance company know what you're looking to do, so they adjust your insurance accordingly, because you don't want to be in a car accident and the insurance company finds that you're running a commercial business and negates your insurance coverage, because that would be really bad. So you want to make sure you're buttoned down with your insurance, and then you want to send out an email on Facebook. Do a posting on Facebook, posting on LinkedIn, putting things in your at your church or wherever your place of worship, getting doctors and social workers to know that you're available. Of course, the First thing you want to build is a website that talks about what you do and how to reach you. Get business cards that you can hand out to people. People still use business cards. And of course, you have to have a LinkedIn page that talks about who you are and what you're offering and what geographic area you're offering it in. And so once you get that website built, let people know on social media your availability and what you charge for what you do, then you should be able to be good to go. It sounds like a pretty simple business with a pretty simple market, because I'm sure that if you can contact 55 and older homes and communities, if you contact retirement facilities and let them know about your availability to do this, they probably don't have the resources and they're probably looking for someone. And most of these people are probably calling Uber or Lyft or a taxi. So you offering this service, even if it's at a premium, is pretty great, and I'm sure that you're going to get a lot of business. So best of luck with that. Next question is from David Manji. David asks, I'm having difficulties tracking my KPIs. I Googled a few, but not having success. Any suggestions where I can get started? I'm a mortgage broker and make sales calls to realtors, CPAs, attorneys, and I need help keeping track how many calls I need to make to lock an appointment. Building a sales metric. What are things in my business I should be keeping track of to hold myself accountable and measure results? Well, I like to put together spreadsheets, and every time that I've contacted someone, I keep their name and when I contacted them and what the result was. So if there was no result that particular day, no result. And then I put their names and across the top of the spreadsheet different dates, and if they send me a client, I put a check mark next to that. And then I can get a sense of who is sending me business. It also allows me to see how many times on average am I actually calling people, either sending emails or doing phone calls. And let's say that you call John Smith 10 times with no results. Then maybe we don't call John Smith anymore and we devote our time to calling someone else. And if John Smith said, yeah, I might have some business for you, but nothing ever happens, then you need to get John Smith on the phone and ask him why. But I would keep a list of everybody you're contacting, how many times you've emailed them, how many times you called, and what the results are at the end of the day. And that way you can determine if it's worth the time to go after those people. Now, you might also put in not only the context, but if you're doing speaking engagements, how many times has that resulted in business? So since you're a mortgage broker, you might be speaking at Rotary clubs, talking to them, Lions clubs, different places of worship that have business clubs, or that they have events where they bring in outside speakers, and start seeing from that how many times you've actually gotten business from the fact that you've done this speaking. Or if you're posting things, how many times, and I keep a track of not only when I posted, but what I posted, to see if that works well. So as an example, when I used to do a lot more speaking, I would test out different headlines. And so I did a lot of speaking on marketing, and I tested out 10 ways to improve your marketing success, and then I would see how many people responded. And at the same one, I would then go a week before the event, Trumping Trump, how to beat the Donald at his own game. So I would test that headline, and I found that headline, blew up things. This is way before Donald Trump ran for president, and I found that worked. So there are different ways that you can test things by offering different headlines, sending it to different people, and just keeping a spreadsheet for where all these things have all these different initiatives and what the results are, and then you'll start to get a picture. I know from my consulting practice that 80% of my clients come from referral sources. 15% came from me actually speaking at events. 5% came from my writing. I write a national column for American City business journals, and I've written local columns for publications as well, and been on radio. And so I found that those help build my visibility, but they didn't always end up leading to new business. So best of luck with that. Our next question comes from Sheree Dung. Sheree says, should my extra money go to saving or debt? I guess putting away in savings or paying off debt. Question, I currently do not have a business and work in corporate America with one second job and go to school. I currently have debt and I'm trying to cash flowing school as much as I can. I will have to borrow to cover next semester. I'm curious, where should my focus be with extra funds? I do know of the Dave Ramsey baby steps. Should I be following these steps? Here's what I would suggest you do. Interest rates are pretty low right now, and I would just go and pay what you need, not just to pay the interest, but also on the principal. I always hate when financial institutions say, well, if you're having a problem paying, you could just pay the principal and just pay the interest and let the principal go. Of course, they love it if you just pay the interest. They'd like it if you just pay the interest the rest of your life, because they don't want to see you pay down the principal, because when you pay down the principal, they're getting less money. So I would not look to double down and pay off your loan sooner until you have enough money that makes some sense. And also, when you have that extra money, you need to put away money for a rainy day. I myself, now you're in school, so it's a little bit different. Myself, I never like to have less than 6 months of money in my bank account that in case I get no business, I can ride it out for 6 months. And mostly I like to keep a year's worth of money. In your particular case, you want to make sure that you have a few months rent covered, you have your books covered, you have food covered, all your essential needs to get yourself through school. So any extra cash you have, don't go putting it toward paying off debt. It's only when you have more cash than you know what to do with that. If you have the cash having to sit in a 0% account and you're paying 3.5% on your loan, and you're not really getting either much tax deductions or it's not worth it, then you can go and pay it off because you got more than enough money to do it, and that's like a different way for you to earn interest on your money. So again, take a look at your cash flow, make sure you have enough to pay your tuition, your rent, your food, if you're driving a car, your insurance, your gas, all those things, and put money away for that rainy day. Once you're out of school and you're making significant money, and I think you will based on your own thoughts that I'm seeing here, then that's when I would go putting toward money to paying off the debt. But try to stay away from just paying interest because it just keeps mounting and mounting, and you don't want that to happen to you. Well, that was a great session. I really enjoyed the questions. I hope all of you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. We here in Philadelphia are experiencing warm weather tomorrow, about 65 degrees in almost the middle of December. It's pretty incredible. So I'm going to get out there and hopefully be riding my bike and enjoying it. Please stay safe and look forward to seeing you all probably after the new year. Take care.